EastEnders legend set to return 20 years after debut as the Queen Vic reopens? As regular viewers of the BBC soap will know, the legendary boozer exploded in February after Reiss crashed his car into it. The impact sparked a fire and ignited gas canisters, which caused the pub to blow up. The incident completely destroyed the Vic and killed Reiss and Martin, and it has since remained closed. However, Linda Carter has confirmed that the Vic will be refurbished as the landlady's insurance claim was approved, though a completion date has yet to be confirmed. EastEnders fans are now convinced the reopening of the iconic pub will be marked with a surprise return from Max Branning. Max's pregnant daughter, Lauren Branning, is also due to marry Peter Beale in what could be a huge Walford celebration. Max first arrived in Walford in 2006, before bidding an emotional farewell in 2021 to start a new life elsewhere. The character has been central to some of the show's most gripping plots, including an infamous affair with Stacey Slater and fathering a child with Linda. One person took to Reddit and asked, "So the Queen Vic finally reopens in May, hoping that EastEnders pulls out some surprises and maybe gives us a return?" One person responded, "The only person I want to return is Max. He's the person that makes the most sense. There's so much to do with his character." Another chimed in, "Max is a possibility, but I don't think we will see any returns till Ben settles in and we start to see his work. I can see Max and/or Tanya coming back for a cameo for Lauren's wedding, but that's really the only return I think will happen for now," suggested one fan. "I'm just hoping there's good vibes. Obviously, they'll honour the memory of Martin, but it's not EastEnders without some drama. Maybe Lauren and Peter have set a date for their wedding and tell everyone, and then Cindy and Max walk in, leaving everyone shocked," predicted another, while another simply stated, "Maximum Max." Heartbreaking. Nigel confusion takes him back to the 90s in EastEnders. Nigel Bates's diagnosis of early-onset dementia impacts his day-to-day life once again in upcoming EastEnders episodes, as he gets confused while out in Walford. Nigel returned last December and quickly moved in with friend Phil Mitchell. He was initially being cagey about just why he was in Albert Square, and later revealed to new pal Yolande that he had received a diagnosis of early-onset dementia and wanted to come back to his old home to see how it would impact his memory. Speaking of the storyline, EastEnders executive producer Chris Crenshaw said, "Nigel's story will explore the challenges faced by people diagnosed with young, onset dementia and their loved ones, which is why working with Dementia UK has been so vital. As Nigel's story unfolds, viewers will learn more about the decisions he's made and how he's coping with such a difficult diagnosis." Nigel has gone on to tell a small handful of his close friends, including Grant, about his health, but as a result of not everyone knowing, it causes quite a bit of trouble this coming week. When Jean notices Nigel wandering around by the pharmacy, she steps in to help. It soon becomes apparent that he thinks it's the video shop, where he used to work in the 90s. Jean takes Nigel home, where Phil covers to protect his mate, but Jean isn't convinced by the lies. Later in the week, Jean reaches out to Nigel, trying to be a friend. Unfortunately, he remains quiet about the dementia diagnosis and dismisses Jean's concerns. It's clear Jean wants to help. Will Nigel learn to let someone new into his life for support? Dr. Karen Harrison Deaning, head of research and publications at Dementia UK, also commented on the story. "We hope this storyline helps to shed some light on the challenges a diagnosis of young onset dementia can bring. It tackles sensitive topics and hard truths, but we know that thousands of people in the UK are facing these every day. The production team has shown a strong commitment to delivering a sensitive depiction, which we hope will spark conversations and encourage people to reach out to our dementia specialist, Admiral nurses for support when they need it." EastEnders legend set to return to save Stacey Slater from tragic downfall. The renowned Slater family has been through a rough patch in recent months. In February, Stacey was heartbroken when her former spouse Martin tragically lost his life following the Queen Vic explosion. Viewers will remember that Martin reconnected with Stacey in his last moments and even had plans to remarry. However, he sadly passed away, leaving the square shaken by the death of the much-loved fruit and veg seller. Overwhelmed by grief, Stacey disappeared from the square last month, only to return this week for Martin's funeral. Meanwhile, Martin and Stacey's daughter Lily is also having a hard time. Lily has started to spiral out of control, drinking alcohol and smoking cannabis with Avani Nandra Hart, who is also dealing with her own distress after a shocking police search she experienced last month, reports Plymouth Live. This week in Walford, Martin's funeral took place, with many residents attending to pay their respects. However, the solemn event was disrupted when Stacey discovered that Martin's market stall had been set on fire. In Wednesday's episode, Stacey, determined to find justice, pledged to identify the perpetrator. Initially, she suspected Ruby Allen, leading to a confrontation between the two. After receiving images of the charred market stall from Walford's own copper Jack Branning, Stacey was taken aback to see Lily's water bottle amidst the debris, seemingly confirming the youngster's involvement in the fire. Yet, amidst the current Slater family drama on EastEnders, viewers are buzzing with speculation that a familiar face might be returning to Albert Square. On an EastEnders fan page on Facebook, one fan reacted to Lily's actions, stating, "It was Lily, as if you would do that to your dead dad's stall." In the flurry of comments, several fans have been theorizing that Sean Slater could reappear to prevent Lily from spiraling further and to stand by his sister Stacey. One viewer expressed disappointment in Lily's behavior, remarking, "I actually thought her character had turned a corner. Horrible little brat. What is it with the writers turning everyone into hateful characters?" Another agreed that Sean's return could be the solution, saying, "I agree, Sean should come back to straighten things out." A sentiment shared by another who added, "Oh yes, that would be amazing. Stacey needs her big bro as well." The possibility of Sean's heroic return was also suggested by another fan. "Sean can come back and save the day." This led to another comment hinting at a potential setup for his comeback. They could be setting up his return with all the stuff happening to his family ATM. Sean Slater first graced the screens of EastEnders in 2006, quickly winning over the audience. His tenure included numerous memorable plots, from romantic entanglements to bitter disputes. Despite leaving Walford in 2009, Sean briefly reappeared in 2021. East Hunk EastEnders star, unrecognisable as he's spotted in London 3 years after quitting the soap, and moved to Hollywood. Rob Kaczynski played Sean Slater on BBC's EastEnders between 2006 and 2022. The 41-year-old was unrecognisable as he was spotted on a stroll in London on Friday. Rob was spotted rocking a small man bun and a sleeveless t-shirt in Primrose Hill that showed off his toned body and muscular physique. The actor enjoyed the sunny day with friends as they shopped around the posh neighbourhood. Rob completed his look with black jeans, dark sunglasses, and green trainers. He tied his black leather jacket to his backpack, as it was not needy on the warm, spring day in the English capital. Rob was spotted carrying multiple shopping bags from Cyberdog, a specialty ravewear clothing brand. The actor shared with fans his body transformation, as he worked hard to shred and reach his target goal. He would regularly post updates and side-by-side photos of his body as he worked hard to get into shape. Well, in the end, it took almost a year to hit my goal weight of 195. I guess when you do it reasonably healthily over 40, that's to be expected, Rob wrote on Instagram in 2024. The second picture is when I knew I had to change something. I didn't recognise myself, and it had crept up so slowly. Living as I always had would, and so I thought, always yield the same results, but I learned differently. Since leaving EastEnders, Rob has scored some major gigs, including opposite Oscar winner Michelle Yeoh and power actor Omari Hardwick in the new Star Trek movie. Rob admitted to being a huge Star Trek fan when he landed the role. Yet another dream job alert, he wrote on Instagram alongside a photo of the movie's cast. "My people know that ST is my life. I can pretty much mouth along to every episode of every Trek. So to be joining the Trek universe is one of, if not the greatest moment of my professional life," he continued. Also, I met Jonathan Frakes this morning for the second time, and he knew my name. EastEnders star explains Sonia's life-changing moment in dramatic exit scenes. A mysterious stranger is set to shake things up. The character is set to depart Albert Square next year, as she's haunted by the memories of Reiss Colwell's evil actions and unable to escape the attention of the nosy public. On Monday 14th April, a mysterious stranger turns up on the square that leaves both Sonia and Bianca Jackson shaken. Sometimes, when big life events happen, you find that someone might pop out of the woodwork to open your eyes and change your life. That's what happens to Sonia this week, Cassidy said, remaining teasingly vague about the identity of the person. She also described where the story takes Sonia as very final, but also very good. It's a nice place to leave Sonia after so much has happened to her, the actor continued. Sonia feels like she's never going to live down what happened with Reiss, so the only thing to do is leave the square. Cassidy also called it a goodbye for now, and teased the possibility, you never know what is going to happen with Sonia and Bianca. Maybe they'll turn up in the square in 10 years' time dripping in diamonds. Of all Sonia's moments over the years, Cassidy said that her favourite has to be the trumpet. That's something that stays with me, and that I use throughout my daily life, she said. It doesn't matter what show I do, they want to mention Sonia's trumpet or have me play a trumpet. It's become an iconic 90s pop culture thing, and I'm very proud of it. Avani's drugs ordeal in EastEnders spirals as things get much worse. Last month, the teenager was harrowingly searched at the police station after being brought in for questioning with friends Lily Slater and Amy Mitchell. Police suspected a completely innocent Avani was in possession of drugs after a bag of pills was seen at her feet having been dropped by her vape dealer. However, in the wake of her trauma, Avani has started smoking weed with Lily, who is also grieving her beloved stepfather, Martin Fowler. Next week, the two girls heads to the Square Gardens to smoke weed, but Lily is surprised when Avani requests payment and later resorts to underhand measures to get the cash. After later picking up another batch of drugs from dealer Declan, Avani takes them to a party Amy is throwing at number 29. However, a conversation with her friend makes Avani immediately regret the decision, and she bins the weed. But her troubles are far from over, as Declan gatecrashes the party, and she's forced to lie that he is her friend. She soon reveals the truth to Amy in the hope she will raise the alarm with her copper dad, Jack Branning. Will Amy risk landing them all in more trouble? Meanwhile, Avani's parents, Priya Nandrahat and Ravi Gulati, also speak with Jack to get him to try and escalate their complaint about their daughter's strip search with his bosses. The concerned parents also encourage Avani to make a complaint of her own, which she strongly refuses. But some comforting words from Yolande Truman soon give her some food for thought. Will Yolande manage to get through to Avani?
Các bạn vừa theo dõi một sản phẩm của EastEnders Spoiler TV. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn.